Hello, dear guests of the True Detective channel. Today we will jointly investigate the car crash that took the life of the young and successful Anastasia Duval, better known as Ann Dadow. Alongside her twin sister, they were highly popular yoga instructors in the USA, which drew significant attention from the media and the public to this case. The path to unraveling this case was long and arduous, but ultimately, investigators were able to uncover the truth. Twin sisters Allison and Ann Dadow were born in 1978 in Utica, New York. When they were 5 years old, their mother passed away, and the girls were raised by their grandmother. They were very similar in appearance, but had completely contrasting personalities. Allison was determined and bold, while Ann was calm and balanced. Like most twins, they shared a strong spiritual connection, always together, helping each other, understanding one another without words. Yet, at the same time, they often experienced unexplained conflicts, envy, and hatred between them. The absence of maternal love and care impacted their upbringing and the formation of their characters. Nevertheless, as they grew up, the sisters stopped quarreling and turned into very attractive young women who were deeply passionate about sports, especially yoga, which eventually led them to consider starting their business in the fitness industry. In 2007, Allison and Ann opened a yoga school studio in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, named Twin Power Yoga, which quickly gained popularity and had no shortage of visitors. The sisters became well-known personalities and formed connections with influential individuals. Their business rapidly expanded, bringing in a decent income. Over time, they could afford a luxurious lifestyle. They acquired 2 expensive Porsche cars, lived in elite Palm Beach apartments, and dressed in expensive boutiques. Things were going so well for the sisters that they managed to open another yoga studio in the city and released an instructional DVD titled Twin Power Hour. They gained significant respect and recognition among the upper-class representatives of Palm Beach. However, despite their financial success, the relationship between the sisters was far from perfect. They never managed to let go of their childhood grievances and overcome their complexes. The sisters endlessly argued, fought, which seemed even more incredible considering they were already quite mature young women. At one point, they received an offer from a well-known television company to star in a reality show where they would share real-time insights into their business project, personal lives, and hobbies. Convinced of the show's success and swayed by the producers, the sisters rented a new spacious yoga studio. The expenses to maintain the new studio increased manifold, and the twins couldn't sustain it. For unknown reasons, the filming of the reality show never commenced. The girls, who anticipated a good payment for their participation, faced serious financial difficulties. Despite these problems, they couldn't let go of the luxurious lifestyle they'd become accustomed to. In March 2014, without warning, the twins abruptly closed all their studios in Palm Beach, not paying their employees and failing to refund money to visitors, many of whom had prepaid for memberships and had left the state. Their actions caused dissatisfaction among those affected, leading to negative information spreading on social media, labeling them as frauds and unreliable partners. By May 2014, the girls relocated to Park City, Utah, where they opened a new yoga studio. To conceal their identities, they changed their names. Allison became Alexandria Duval, and Ann became Anastasia Duval. Despite their efforts, their yoga studio couldn't replicate its previous success and no longer generated income. The girls found themselves in massive debts, totaling around $150,000, and declared bankruptcy. All these hardships worsened the already strained relationship between the sisters. They blamed each other for the situation, engaged in constant quarrels, physical altercations, and abused alcohol. Neighbors living nearby complained to the police about constant scandals, shouting, and noise emanating from their apartment. Law enforcement repeatedly held the sisters accountable for disturbing the peace. It went on for about 6 months, and in early 2015, the sisters decided to relocate once more, this time choosing what they believed to be the best place on Earth. They told those around them that they were going to Hawaii to find meaning in life and inner peace. Arriving just before Christmas Eve in a state of celebration, the girls decided to loudly celebrate at a local restaurant. However, after consuming a considerable amount of alcohol, they got into a heated argument and were asked to leave the establishment. Opting to head home, one of the sisters took the wheel but lost control, veering off the road into a ditch not far from the restaurant. Regaining consciousness, the sisters got out of the car and continued shouting at each other while exchanging punches. The restaurant owner attempted to calm the twins down, but they engaged in a scuffle with him, yelling and making threats, which led him to call the police. When the officers arrived, the sisters completely lost control. They scratched, bit, and pulled each other's hair. The police had to use force to subdue them, resulting in their arrest for disorderly conduct. As punishment, the court ordered them to pay a fine. Following this incident, the sisters disappeared from the public eye briefly. In 2016, they met two men. Lonnie Dickerson courted Alexandria, and Federico Bailey took a liking to Anastasia. Both couples spent a lot of time traveling around exploring local attractions, and it seemed that finally, the sisters' lives were getting back on track. On May 29, 2016, Federico and Anastasia decided to go on a trip to picturesque places, while Alexandria, not wanting to stay home alone, asked to join them. Federico agreed, but on one condition: he prohibited the girls from taking alcohol, considering addiction a very serious problem. However, despite the ban, Alexandria sneaked a bottle of wine into the car. When Federico found the bottle, an argument erupted between the sisters, greatly angering Anastasia. Upon reaching the camping site, where Federico intended to bathe in a local spring, the girls stayed at the camp. When Federico returned later, he found neither the car nor the girls. He stayed at the camping site for the night, and in the morning hitchhiked back to his friend's home in Hana, who informed him about the car accident involving the Duval sisters. Around 5:00 p.m. on May 29, 2016, a call was made to 911. The caller reported that a white Ford Explorer was speeding along Hana Highway, heading south toward Puiki, before sharply turning left, crashing into a rock wall, and then plummeting off a 200-foot cliff, smashing against sharp boulders below. Police arriving at the scene found a crowd of onlookers who had witnessed the tragedy while passing by. Spotting the car at the bottom of the ravine, officers called for a helicopter with rescuers to land at the crash site to check for any survivors. When the rescuers reached the car, they found two girls inside. One, seated in the back, was deceased, while the other behind the wheel was alive but pinned by the steering wheel. Rescuers pulled the girl from the car and tried to ascertain the identities of the girls and the circumstances of the fatal fall. However, the survivor refused to answer questions about the fatal incident, only stating her name as Alex before being taken to the hospital. Investigators began examining the scene and questioning witnesses. No documents were found in the car to identify the sisters. Witnesses who saw the car go off the cliff claimed they had seen the girls inside arguing, fighting, pulling each other's hair, and at one point, the one at the wheel in a fit of rage stepped on the gas, sending the car hurtling off the cliff. Police went to the hospital to interrogate the surviving sister, but she was reluctant to respond to questions. She was angry, did not inquire about her sister's condition, and when informed of her sister's death, remained silent. To confirm her identity, Alexandria asked her boyfriend Lonnie Dickerson to bring her documents and her sister's documents. This helped the police identify the sisters as twins: Alexandria Duval, who was behind the wheel and survived, and Anastasia Duval, who was in the back seat and died. According to the forensic report, Anastasia suffered a severe head injury and died at the scene, while her sister sustained only minor visible injuries. The examination also revealed that Alexandria's blood alcohol content exceeded the legal limit by 3 times, indicating severe intoxication and rendering her unfit to drive. Upon inspecting the car, investigators found that Alexandria was wearing a seatbelt and was saved by the deployed airbags, while her sister was not buckled up. A detailed examination also found a recording device similar to an airplane's black box. Analysis of this device revealed that just before the SUV went off the cliff, there was a sudden acceleration and no attempt was made to brake. When Federico, Anastasia's boyfriend, learned about the tragic incident, he approached the police and recounted that a week before the tragedy, Alexandria had threatened her sister, stating she would kill Anastasia. At that time, he didn't give much weight to those words, considering them the ramblings of a drunken woman. Upon receiving this information, the police suspected that Alexandria might have deliberately caused the car crash to kill her sister. Additionally, they inspected the spot where the car fell and concluded that it was the only rocky area lacking a guardrail, making it seem as if the car's plunge off the road was planned for that specific location. To bring charges against Alexandria, investigators needed direct evidence of her intentions, but they only had circumstantial evidence, and there was a lack of a clear motive for the crime. Continuing their investigation, detectives discovered that Federico and Anastasia had plans to start their own business on another Hawaiian island, which Alexandria opposed, disapproving of her sister's plans for an independent life. During the investigation, detectives found that Alexandria Duval and Anastasia Duval were previously known as Allison and Ann Dadow, respectively, having changed their identities illegally to evade creditors from Palm Beach and Park City. Authorities put Alexandria under surveillance, and upon realizing she booked a flight to leave Hawaii, they arrested her, charging her with second-degree intentional murder. At the bail hearing, Alexandria did not consider herself guilty, attempting to elicit sympathy from the judge by displaying her bruises and bandaged hand. However, given her attempted flight from investigation, the judge refused to grant bail and remanded her in custody pending trial. The trial began on January 29, 2018, and Alexandria faced a potential life sentence. During the hearing, the girl's lawyer summoned a witness, the very person who had seen the sisters fighting in the passing car, witnessing Anastasia pulling Alexandria's hair, thus causing a disturbance while she was driving. These testimonies supported the lawyer's argument that Alexandria, who was behind the wheel, might have lost control due to her sister's sudden attack, causing her pain and making her lose sight of the dangerous turn. Additionally, the lawyer presented an expert opinion stating that one of the tires in the car had been recently replaced, while the other tire was considerably worn but hadn't been changed. Moreover, it was raining lightly on that day, and the road was wet. Alexandria claimed she couldn't remember anything about the accident, expressed deep regret over her sister's death, stating she loved her dearly and had no intention of causing harm. After reviewing all available evidence, the judge ruled that Alexandria wasn't responsible for her sister's death and acquitted her of the accident. She was immediately released from the courtroom. The judge explained the decision by stating that Alexandria lost control of the car due to the blows to her head and being pulled by her hair while driving. Thus, she was acquitted and set free. However, public opinion about her guilt remained divided, especially among those who personally knew the sisters, with many still not believing her innocence. Friends, what do you think about this story? Share your opinions in the comments and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.